Good morning. Today I'm going to discuss Embedded Firmware Development Languages 2. So in this, we are going to discuss firmware development language, like high-level language, mixing high-level language with assembly language. So in a previous lecture, we discussed how to program in assembly language, what are the advantages if you program in assembly language, and what are the disadvantages of programming in assembly language. So in this, usually if you see high level languages which is used maybe C or sometimes C++, because C is very closely you can interact with the hardware. So most of the time we'll be using C as a programming language. So here your high level languages supports modular programming. In modular programming, there can be multiple source files. Those source files can be combined with the other source files to generate an absolute object file. So here in embedded application development, we'll be using a cross compiler, not a compiler. So compiler is a general purpose kind for it is going to generate a object file for a machine which is running, for a machine which it is executing. Whereas in cross compiler, we can create a object file for the machine, particular machine, irrespective of what machine we are executing. So it generates the object file for target processor. So if you see your high level language based development, high level language based development diagram is given here. We have source file. The source file can be of C, C++ type. Here it is specified. It can be of C, C++. Here also it is given .c or .c++. Actually, .c++ is not an extension. .cpp. Here, this source file can be converted into object file by using cross compiler. Again, here the source file 2 is converted to object file 2 by using cross compiler. Then any library header files, which is used in the program is available as a library files, and we have a linker and locator. So what linker and locator will do is it relocate into the address which is available for the execution, and it will club all these three files into single file, and it generates the absolute object file. Then we have object to hex file converter, which converts our object to file to exit machine code. Object file to machine code. And next, the converted X file can be used as a single program for performing particular task. If you speak advantage of high-level based development, reduced development time, developer independency, portability. So here we are not going to develop a program which is specific to the particular target processor. So no need to learn about the processor's architecture, instruction set, and register detail, memory organization, and all. This time is saved so that we can start the programming immediately. So it reduces the development time. So next, developer independence. So because it is written in high level language, so there will be a structured way of writing a program. So there will not be any dependency on the developer. So anybody can understand the program which is written in the high level language. And next we have portability, because the C code, whichever you written, you can run, like you can execute by using compiler in any of the other machines. So for any target machines, by just changing the header files, details of the target process, we can easily run the same code in any target process. So high portability is achieved in the high level languages. Then next, then it's if you take limitation of high level languages, it's then optimized code cannot be generated when it is converted into machine level languages, because we are writing in a general. For converting into machine code, there will be a lot of code which is generated by the class compiler. Those code will be can be reduced if you program in high assembly language. So it will not generate optimized code. And if you do it without using a high level language, if you go with machine level language as assembly language, we can write the same code with a lesser number of instructions. So whatever high level language which is converted into machine code have more number of instructions. Same code directly if you write in assembly, it has lesser number of instructions. So optimized code cannot be generated here by using high level language. Now we have seen separately how to write the code with assembly. Then we have seen separately how to write the code with high level. Now we have something what we can do is we can take the advantage of high level and advantages of assembly, and mix together we can write a program, some part of a code in assembly, some part of a code in high level we can write. This type of a programming is called as mixed assembly and high level languages. So the mixing of high level language with assembly and vice versa. You can mix high level language with assembly language with high level. So anything like we can do it. So, and then we have to look into how we are going to mix assembly language with high level language, how we are going to mix high level language with assembly language, and some more thing is called as inline assembly programming. All these four we are going to discuss. So first one is mixing assembly with high level language. So mixing assembly with the C. For a C, the compiler name is C51. The compiler for 8051 microcontroller. That is a cross compiler. Now we are going to write a simple function in the C that passes some parameters and return the value that we want to, that way we want your assembly routine to. So C will pass, assembly routine will return the value. For this you can create pragma assembler as compiler directive, #pragma src directive, so that compiler generate .src file instead of object file. So compile the C file, you have specified .src directive, so compile the C file and then rename .src file to A.51 file. A.51 is your assembly file, and then you have to edit your A.51 file. Then we can insert some code which you want to execute in the body of assembly function to execute, so that you can insert into A.51 file. So you can mix assembly with high level language. So writing simple C function, and then you are storing that with the using .pragma src, so that source file is generated instead of object file. Now compile the C file, you have to compile the C file, and then you are not when you compile the source file, you will be getting .src file because we have specified the pragma src directive. Then what we should do is we have to rename the .src to A.f51, that is assembler file. We have to rename it. Now we have got your source file in the form of assembly the instruction. Now we have to change the assembly file and insert the code wherever you want. In the body of assembly function, we can include your code which you want to be executed in assembly. And even we can do high level with assembly. So what we'll do is source code is already available in assembly language and routines are written in C. The entire source code is in assembly, it's available in assembly with optimal performance. And then what we have to do is we have to write some way where you can utilize your memory by using assembly. So to include built-in library function written in C provided by the class compiler, we can use some library functions supported by C. Mixing assembly with high level language example. So this actually this whatever it is followed for this is Pragma SRC assembler directive. So Pragma SRC assembler directive. So whatever it is following here is a C code, and then later when .src file is created, .src file is created, it is going to generate this type of assembly instruction. So here we can do the optimization and mix. One more way is mixing assembly with high level languages. Mixing assembly with high level languages. So we have function program written in C, and then we can call the functions which is available in assembly language. So for that C51 cross compiler, it allows maximum of 3 arguments to pass through the register. Maximum of 3 arguments through the general purpose register R2 to R7. If you have 3 arguments are available, then it will be passed by R7, R6, R5. If the parameters are integer value, it takes the 2 bytes. So it takes the 2 register R7, R6, R5, R4, R3, R2. So because 1 byte will not be register size is 1 byte, 8 bit only in the 8051 microcontroller, but integer numbers are 2 bytes. So we have to pass the thing with the 2 registers. And if it is integer numbers, totally 6 registers are required. If it is a character, 3 registers are required. And your return value is again it is stored in R7. Your return value after calculated it is stored in R7. If return value is number integer, then R7 and R6 two registers are used for storing the return value. And then your C subroutine can be invoked from the assembly program using the lcall instruction. We can invoke it. So lcall, we can call the C routine, which is written in the C, and we can call from assembly language. And this is something called as inline assembly. Now, inline assembly is another technique for inserting your specific assembly instruction any location of your C code. This avoids the delay in calling the assembly routine from the C code. So for using your inline assembly, we have to use Pragma assembler directive, followed by ASM. ASM indicates followed by Pragma assembler directive. Whatever the code we have, that is of type assembly type. So we have to specify the end ASM, Pragma end ASM. And the code, assembly code, we should write here. In a C code, you can bring your assembly code. Inline assembly means the code will be replaced in the program itself. Instead of calling a subroutine, we are writing the code in the C code only. So again, we are going to see what is the difference between C and embedded C. If you take, it's a well-structured general purpose programming with high-level features and assembly language, which help you to access the programming, hardware access, and even some business package development also we can write it in the C. But embedded C is subset of C, which supports all the C instruction and few target-specific functions are incorporated in embedded C. So embedded C for specific target processor, we can use embedded C. And then we have something called as compiler versus cross compiler. Compiler is a software which converts the source code written in high level language to particular operating system running on the target specific processor. Whereas cross compilers are software, it's a cross platform development. In this, the compiler is running on particular target processor, converts the source code or machine code for a target processor whose architecture and instruction set is of the processor on which compiler is running. So, for example, we are going to create the system program will be running in different target processor, but we are going to create the machine code for specified target processor. This is cross compiler. So here compiler it generates the code for the same target processor, whereas cross compiler generates the code for different target processor whose instruction set is different from the processor where the compiler is running. So it is used for developing for different machines, for developing the target of code for different machines. These cross compilers are used. So this is all about how to develop the application in high level language and assembly language, mixing high level language with assembly language, how to use inline assembly, and then what is embedded C, what is cross compiler, how it varies from normal compiler. So these concepts are discussed in this particular video. Thank you.